G'day, battlers, and we are here for the Silph Arena Continentals Finals for the European region. I'm here, Steve, and who have we got with me? It is Lundberger. How's it going, Lundberger? How are we doing?
I'm doing good. I was practicing this. G'day.
Okay.
That's pretty good, right?
I should have got you to enter the video. Why do I do it?
Yeah, I'm taking over. I'm taking over the APAC region.
Fair enough. This is completely yours now. Lundberg is going to be doing all of the Continentals from now on. But seriously, thanks for coming in. And PvP Academia, do check them out. Link is going to be in the description below. I'll remind you at the end of this as anyway. But we are going to be jumping into the European Continental Finals. So the way this all went down, people fought through regionals. People got their Continentals invitations, whether they were top of their country, whether they were winning through regionals, whether they won a Silph Arena showdown. That was regionals. Anyway, they got through to Continentals, and the top 8 from the European Continentals go through to the Continental Finals, which is what we are seeing today in a double elimination format. So we will get into all of that a little bit later as we start going through the bracket. But first off, because we are not doing this live, the tournament's already happened. We can already say huge congratulations to Bibiliciouss for becoming the new 2021 European Continental Champion. Absolutely just huge, like really well done.
Very cool. Yeah, especially if you look at his trainer card, he's mid-range ace, which is pretty good. But really, when you look at who he was battling against, there are a few of the only legends that we have, also very high elites. And to come out with a win against all these really talented battlers is very impressive. And obviously, I'm really excited to see his gameplay.
Yeah, there are multiple number 1 in the countries hanging around in this tournament. There's, number 4 is hanging around, number 11 in the world. They're all just here. And Bibiliciouss, I can actually give a little bit more insight about Bibiliciouss. They only actually did the first 3 cups of the season. They did Sunrise, Marsh, and Nightfall, and then they didn't actually play a cup since then. They ran into regionals, swept the Sweden regionals, and did end up coming through to Continentals, and obviously has done incredibly well up against some of the best battlers in the world. So absolutely deserved being able to take out such huge competition. Clearly an incredibly skilled battler. And
that's why you picked me to do this, right? Because I'm also Swedish, as you can tell by my name.
Exactly right. That was the only qualification. I was like, I need someone that's
like, I need a Swede.
Yeah, who is the only Swede I know? PewDiePie, and then he wasn't available, so I was like, Lundberger, of course.
Second fiddle.
It's all good. It happens. But we will jump into the battles now. So again, we'll show the bracket, but I don't have the bracket for the very start because at the first round, it's just all 8 seeded. So we'll see the bracket. We'll come back to it after the battles. But round 1, up against the previous European Continental Champion, Memphis Flow AMD. Just
what a way to start, right?
Absolutely. Like, if you walk into this tournament, it's like, okay, I need to win a few rounds. Maybe I come out on top. And you go, hey, I'm the champion. You're trying to take my title? Is that what you're trying to do? I've done this before. I know what's up here. And I think Bibiliciouss, well, looking at the teams already, they've got 4 of the same Pokemon on the teams of 6.
I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, but it's like, they're also kind of both running a similar double water strategy with that. But Memphis Flow is choosing Marsh Stomp, which is very like old school. I don't know if you played Silph from the very beginning, but Marsh Stomp was like OP for the Boulder Cup, exactly. And then we have making Though Technical very proud of Ludicolo on Bibiliciouss' side. And then Scrafty and the Stunfisk. Those are the 2 differences.
Yeah, I think it is just right that someone comes in and performs really well at this level of competition with a Ludicolo. I think it's kind of just important that happened. I think was it Raging Taz who did it in season 1 that came along with the Dancing Pineapple doing really well. So really awesome to see that. And I do actually one thing, because I don't know if the team's on screen, I do want to throw out there 7 of the 8 battlers in this tournament brought Alolan Grimer. I just thought that was important to mention. Matthew Brewer, the one black sheep going the other direction, bringing Dragalge.
Yes. But we know how much Matthew loves his Dragalge, so...
Yeah, and I'm sure he knows the Pokedex number as well. But if you're Bibiliciouss, what are you kind of looking at here to use up against Memphis? I'm kind of liking the Stunfisk. Stunfisk looks like it can definitely do a fair bit of work up against most of Memphis's team. But what are you kind of saying?
Yeah, it's true. I'm also thinking maybe that Ludicolo will be playing a big part. Of course, I mean, chances are it's probably running a water fast move, but if it's running Razor Leaf, that could be also pretty interesting. It's kind of like one of those where it's not played often enough that people really are like, oh yeah, I definitely know the movesets that the person is running on this Ludicolo.
Yeah, there's all the chances.
I would love to see it at least at one point, but otherwise, I think that they probably have a very similar strategy in what they want to do. They've crafted this team, so now it's kind of like when you're playing a mirror of your own team. Like, what do you know as your own weaknesses, and how can you play against them?
Yeah, exactly.
But I do agree. Right. I think Stunfisk looks pretty strong.
Yeah, and it is worth pointing out that both of them, because this was a point-based format, you had 20 points to spend on your team. They have both shelled out half of their points to bring in that just classic Azumarill. So I think they may want to use that. It is a little bit, if Bibiliciouss has a Razor Leaf Ludicolo and a Thundershock Stunfisk, they may not want to bring it too much in this battle, but we'll see. We'll jump into the first battle here, jumping straight into the action. Take us away, Amanda.
All right, we got that Stunfisk against the Lowland Grimer, a shiny Lowland Grimer, making it maybe Memphis Flow is trying to be a bit confusing here, like thinking it's just a regular Grimer, and safe swapping into Scrafty, which is immediately met by its hardest counter in Azumarill.
Yeah, but Azumarill not running that play rough. We're actually seeing Bibiliciouss run the Ice Beam Hydro Pump moveset, so not as dominating of a matchup. Still a very, very dominating matchup, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have that like really just heavy, super effective move, and going straight for the Hydro Pump. So deciding to reveal their moveset, well, the fact they've got Hydro Pump pretty early on, maybe trying to scare away a Probopass at some point, but gonna let all of these foul plays through because they're not doing very much.
Exactly, and now it's up to Memphis Flow whether he wants to shield the Scrafty. At this point, probably not going to win switch advantage. He knows it. Bibiliciouss slightly undercharges the Hydro Pump anyway, looking to get a bunch of farm and hopefully be able to throw at the next thing that comes in. It's going to be a complete bubble farm down here.
Yeah, unless this Scrafty's holding on to some sort of gung shot in the back that's just not revealing. But no, there's just another foul play, and yeah, going to get bubbled down at this point. Going to be able to throw a Hydro Pump at whatever comes in. Unless it's something like an Azumarill in it.
Yeah, if that Dragonite comes in, it's going to get an Ice Beam. Nope, okay.
Ooh, okay. Grimer coming back in.
Oh, good. Look at this. Even revealing straight away in the very first match of Game 1 here that he's running Ice Beam and Hydro Pump. So, of course, if you're the opponent, you're taking in all of this information and obviously easily able to Poison Jab down the Azumarill. And in that comes that Stunfisk. Immediate swap out to Marsh Stomp. And we also now see the moves on the Ludicolo.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Not Razor Leaf.
Yeah, no, you were definitely right that it is that bubble one. Going to be able to farm up tons of energy here. And I believe Marshtomp does have Sludge, which is a bit of a scary move. So calling the bait potentially. And it is the bait. Really nice call from Bibiliciouss there. Man. That is really well done.
Looks like Bibiliciouss can be dancing his way to victory here with this one. Charging up doubly. Although the Leaf Storm, once it is used, it's going to debuff the attack from the Ludicolo. So kind of have to use it a bit sparingly, but doesn't bother shielding. Okay.
He knows they've got two shields, right? Still holding on to him. But
he's holding on to him for game 2.
I'm going to save these actually. We are going to see this Ice Beam going through, still not using a shield. Their Grimer's almost got down at this point. I think they might have given up at this point.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, they know Stunfisk in the back is a really dangerous little force up against that Alolan Grimer. So bringing it in. And I think we're seeing the first game of the Continentals Finals go down with 0 shields used.
Yes, by either opponent. Super weird. Okay. I guess when you're pretty hard countered from the beginning, you kind of know how it's going to go down. So Memphis Flow was probably using this very first game to gather information of like how his opponent likes to play. Is he going to bait things, or is he going to go for the move straight away? What moves are you carrying on each of the things? So now that he knows it's a Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Azumarill, like you said, it kind of would maybe scare away the Probopass from being used. And also, maybe you do want to shield up that Scrafty, even though it's not going to have a great matchup against it. If you get that powered up a bit and you use both shields, that Scrafty could become unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, if you shield up a Hydro Pump, that is so much more energy shield than if you shield up a Play Rough. So it can actually kind of give you that extra little leg up as well. And yeah, knowing the moveset's really important thing. Knowing the Ludicolo moveset, knowing it's got Leaf Storm, knows that he likes to go for the Leaf Storm, knowing the Azumarill moveset, definitely pretty helpful there. And we'll see Memphis obviously was the previous Continental Champion. They know a thing or two about battling. They're going to try and read, see what Bibiliciouss is going to do, and try and figure it out. So if you could bring in, what do you think is the most important Pokemon for Memphis to bring into this next battle?
I think the Marsh Stomp will do pretty well. And I'm not completely against the Scrafty, but it is kind of, as a safe swap, probably not actually the safest.
Yeah.
So I think the Marsh Stomp definitely comes into play. He's got pretty strong cores against the Dragonite, so I don't know if we would see much of that unless he's really just kind of banking on the fact that they're not going to bring Dragonite counters since they brought them so heavily the first game. But yeah, we'll see. I also, the Alolan Grimer is a pretty fun pick overall, as well as we know, since everyone seemed to pick it.
I mean, Alolan Grimer would have been really nice up against two of Bibilicious's Pokemon, but it just couldn't avoid the Stunfisk. It's like, if you get up against a Azumarill, awesome. Up against a Ludicolo, awesome. Stunfisk,
Bibilicious kind of played it a little ABB if you think about it, so he wants to play the Stunfisk, and then he had two waters in the back. So that might also not be a bad idea for Memphis Flow.
Yeah, we'll just jump straight into her, see how we're going to go. I see if Bibilicious goes for the exact same lineup here. White screen of, okay, here we go. Scrafty in the lead. Oh, we're actually seeing the Dragonite come in. Going for that that hard play. Now, if anyone in the audience has seen the APAC Continental Championships, they will know that this is an incredibly dangerous lead because Dragonite will essentially always either get your shield or take you down in the lead. So it can really give the person using it a big advantage. Definitely have to be scared of that. And the APAC Continentals was revealed before this tournament happened, so maybe Bibilicious was aware of that strategy. Hard to say, but getting a little bit of mutual lag here, but...
Yeah, I wonder...
Okay.
It looks like no moves went through. Okay, at least that's good. At least, I mean, a foul play is going to do heavy damage to a Dragonite too. So, okay, so at least he knows he's going to lose the lead. But he swaps out immediately to that Azumarill, which is a much better safe swap because even if it was the Stunfisk, as we know, Azumarill's just a thick little boy. And now we're going to be into a very, very long and boring mirror match. We'll see now if Memphis is carrying Play Rough, or if he's also carrying the Ice Beam. Play Rough indeed is not good for Bibilicious's, as we all know. Obviously, it does not win the mirror if it does not have Play Rough, even with good baits necessarily, because I doubt that the Memphis Flow will block up the Azumarill.
Yeah,
although Scrappy is almost dead, so maybe, he has to be a little bit more worried. He didn't use any shields in game one. Maybe game two, he's thinking, I maybe should at least use one.
We've already seen the shield cork popped off, so at least they know that shields are existing. They know that they're allowed to use shields in the Continentals format. They're starting to realize. But yeah, you are right that Scrafty is hanging around. So there is actually potential for a sag swap if this battle goes on for too long. Could potentially catch a move. Is true. Both Azumarill was getting very low at this point. Only one more play rough is needed from Memphis' side to take this Azumarill out. I can't imagine Bibilicious keeping their Azu around.
No, I wonder if they'll even put the Dragonite back in since it's Shadow. It is doing pretty heavy damage and might be able to, even if it blocks another time, take out that Azumarill. And then, a fully healthy Dragonite with those Shadow... Oh, nope. It's going back in with the Mud Slap. As it's not going to do as much damage as it would with the Thunder, but we'll see. He's not going to block. Interesting, okay?
Ooh, okay. And we know it's Ice Beam play.
Ice Beam, Play Rough, Azumarill, charging up fully, going up Mud Bomb. Let's see, will it be enough to take out the Azumarill at this range?
It's going to be close, I think, either way. But actually getting the
shield. He uses the shield. Okay. Which is kind of unfortunate because maybe he just wanted a Bibilicious to make sure that Stunfisk is energy dry, leading me to believe that might be a Alolan Grimer in the back.
Yeah, really wanted to take the thing out, and you're exactly right. Alolan Grimer hanging out, and Bibilicious has drawn it out by swapping into the Dragonite. Looks like they're going... Oh, I was going to say going straight for the Hurricane, but no, they're going for the multiple Dragon Claws, going for some Dragon Claw spam onto this Alolan Grimer. Not expecting
He's got
Memphis...
no choice but to shield this up. Yep.
Yeah. you don't, after the last game, you have to use them. You have to use them, but this is still going to do a ton of damage with that shadow bonus. It's going to hurt. Oh, hanging on.
Yeah, I mean,
but
he's at least going to be able to poison jab. Probably he's charged up enough, but will the Scrappy have enough? I highly doubt it. Oh, this might be tough for Memphis Flow.
Yeah.
Oh, a crunch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Scruffy's coming. Oh yeah, Scruffy's. It's going to get to the mud bomb and taking it out. And with that, Bibiliciouss has taken out the European Continental Champion. Going, I know who you are. I know how much skill you've got, and I'm still ready to take it on. I think I'm game. I'm ready to go. I do have to throw out there.
That was very, very well played.
Yeah, this is the one round where Bibiliciouss did not play all 3 games. So they have gone 2-0 in this first round. So we'll jump into the bracket and take a look over there. If we open up the bracket here, we'll see that these are the results of the first round. So again, these are the 8 people who did progress onto the final. So we had Helsenberg up against Dancing Rob, V Tenacity versus Lugan Rocket, Lian Ru versus Matt Brewer, and then we've seen Memphis just lose here. And in the screenshot, we've also got the losers bracket. So because this is double elimination format, you have to lose twice to be knocked out of the tournament. The 4 players who lost here went down to the secondary bracket, and we are seeing Dancing Rob and Matt Brewer progressing on to the next stage of this tournament as well. So you have to remember that they may rear their faces again later on. So just have to wait and see.
I'm actually kind of confused at the way that this is structured, because I think it's not the way that it normally is listed. Normally the higher player is on top, but this way it's showing that Helsenberg beat Dancing Rob. But Dancing Rob, who went to 7-0 in one of the Silph showdowns, he is a legend, and I think one of the top players of Germany and higher ranked than Helsenberg. So I think the way that it was formatted at the end is actually a little bit different. So you will always see the winner on top and the loser on bottom.
Yeah, you may potentially be right there. I don't want to click another one to spoil it, but we'll just wait and see in that regard. We'll find out after the next battles, which, as we can see in the bracket here, will be up against Leandrew. Oh, wait, is that right?
Leandrew, yes. He's also a German trainer. Very young guy as well, and very high on leaderboards and everything. So he is also a legend, but he also is a GBL legend from the beginning. They're always pushing for leaderboards, and it's always really fun to see him play. He's in a lot of the European tournaments, and he's always a threat. You never actually want to be paired with him.
I think, to be honest, you could probably say that about all 8 people in this tournament.
That's true.
If you can avoid them in a tournament, you should maybe try to, except actually I take that back a little bit, because as we saw in this season, if you face the Continental Champion in a tournament, you do get a Silph badge for your trainer card. So going forward, there is actually one name that you may want to face in tournaments coming up in the next season. But
good point.
Jumping over into the teams, bringing it up here, we've got Leandrew's team, who's got the non-Shadow Dragonite, Steelix, Pelipper, Munchlax, Escavalier, and Alolan Grimer. This is a very different team. We've gone from identical to Steelix.
Leandro does like a lot of his spice. I've noticed that he has interesting safe swaps in a lot of the formats that he plays in. Like, I believe that he did really well with an Ampharos in regionals. So that's kind of something different than everyone else had gone with. I like this team a lot. I wonder if people go with the Pelipper safe swap as you kind of do in GBL. It's a good generalist and can get to those weather balls really quickly. Although looking at Bibiliciouss's team, he has some really solid answers with the Azumarill and Ludicolo as well. So I don't know.
He's a little bit scary.
Bibiliciouss last time used Azumarill as a safe swap or like a secondary position one, and I wonder if that will also be a good thought for this, because Azumarill does do well against pretty much the whole team except for that Alolan Grimer. So if he can keep it in that middle spot, he could maybe avoid getting it matched up at all with the Grimer, which he was able to do the first round.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And there is the possibility that we see Shadow Dragonite versus regular Dragonite, which is interesting that they've gone for the regular Dragonite, because I feel like in all other teams that I've come across, I feel like it's always a Shadow. So I wonder if that's, surely it's not an accessibility thing. It could be. Maybe they just didn't have one with frustration removed. They were waiting for one with good RVs, and then one never came, and then all of a sudden they wanted to Dragonite. But against this Bibilicious team, it's definitely a little bit scary to bring that Dragonite as well. It can definitely do some work. Dragon Breath is so oppressive, but it could definitely could kind of go either way in that regard. But we're jumping in to the battle now in round 2, and take it away.
And with that Dragonite against a Munchlax, also a pretty thick boy, but as you said, like Dragon Breath is very oppressive, and a Shadow Dragon Breath hurts even more, even though Munchlax is quite thick. Look, it's already almost down to, I mean, if they choose not to shield this Dragon Claw, blah, can't speak, then it's going to do a lot of damage.
Oh my gosh.
And, looks like he tried to switch out, counting very well, but not able to. CMP tie and choosing the shield because Shadow Dragonite, while it hits hard, also gets hit very hard. It is a very squishy mon in the Great League.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing this swap out into a Scavalier in the back and decided to stay in with the Dragonite, going for another Dragon Claw. Now, normally, like type-wise, this wouldn't do much damage, but again, because this is just that high attack stat, Shadow, it does do a lot of damage, and a Scavalier is pretty squishy, so deciding to shield before swapping out into this Azumarill. And a Scavalier is in a little bit of trouble now, because a Scavalier cannot do too much to this Azu. I believe it's got Acid Spray in its moveset, so there's always the chance that it gets some sort of super effective damage on, but it is just throwing that drill run. So, yeah, Azumarill is likely to be taking this battle out eventually, or you know, there's always the chance that we see a swap out of some kind, but we actually are seeing Acid Spray.
Okay.
I was kind of mentioning that as sort of a more trivia on the side. I wasn't expecting to actually see Acid Spray come out. Wow.
And actually, for him to reveal it, so now if this is a drill run, it will take out the Azumarill. So that is a good probably play by Leandro.
Ooh.
It is a drill run, and that Azumarill goes down. So now it is a choice. He's going to reveal the last mon, which is the Stunfisk, or is he going to go back with the Dragonite? Smart to go back with the Dragonite, trying to get up a little bit extra energy. Unfortunately for Bibiliciouss, his time clock is not up yet, and he's facing a Steelix, which is about to take it out. Or luckily for him, he's able to reach this Dragon Claw just in time. Unfortunately for him, not very effective.
Yeah, not doing much at all, but does keep Dragonite around, able to swap out there, so there's always that potential for a swap. But is this an... Okay, I didn't get the words out quick enough, but that always could have been an Earthquake, and it could have been incredibly scary for that Stunfisk. It just would have been, game over if that Earthquake landed. So really nice call there from Bibiliciouss. Still has to be scared of that for sure. Now going to be throwing some bulk Mud Bombs to try and get this Steelix out of here, because these Mud Bombs can do super effective damage, nice little bit of damage. Only one more Mud Bomb is required to take it out. So it's up to Leandro if they want to burn that shield or not. Are we going to see the shield?
He's doing really good counting too. Bibiliciouss is, going up, not allowing Leandro to throw before. So he has to take a choice whether he's going to shield or not. Since he chose not to shield, now the Stunfisk has a lot of energy left. And like I said, okay, we're back to the Munchlax, which is very thick. And he is counting well, so maybe he will try to do a sack. It looks like the timer is almost up on the Dragonite, not able to reach it quite in time. You have to, even though it's probably just a body slam, it's getting down to the wire here.
Yeah, this Stunfisk still has a fair bit of work to do. So charging up to 2 Mud Bomb, or just short. Oh, catches the Mud Bomb onto a Scavalier.
Wow, speaking of good swaps.
Whoa.
Leandro counting like a boss, catching this Mud Bomb on the X-Bill down, or a Scavalier, down it goes. But unfortunately, still enough for a discharge. Will this be enough to take out a Munchlax at this range? It just might be.
And there it is, taking out the Munchlax, taking out the first game of round 2 in somewhat close fashion. That was still a little bit scary for Bibiliciouss there. Definitely could have gone the other way depending. So I guess we saw the Shadow Dragonite doing a lot of work. Did it throw a Dragon Claw against every one of the Pokemon on Leandro's team?
I think it did, yes.
Wow.
Even the not very effective ones, it's still, like we always say, chip damage is chip damage. And so even though that Dragon Claw didn't do much to the Steelix, it's better to get that off than to just go down with a charge move. And like you said, he still had a little bit of health left for maybe a potential sack swap, but it didn't get to that point. Leandro is a very, very talented player. I'm interested to see how he will adapt to this round. And also maybe he's a little more wary, because first rounds are always a little bit weird shakeup. But when you are maybe the top player in the tournament and you're playing against the bottom player in the tournament, then you're thinking, oh, I most likely have this. And so now I'm sure it's like nerves are a little bit shaken. Yes.
I don't think we mentioned it, but I feel like Leandro is actually number 1 in Germany, I think.
Yep, in Germany.
Yeah,
so Robert, two of the 8 players that made it to the European Continentals are from Germany, and I believe 2 of them are from the UK as well. So
yeah,
I mean,
we've got
we're
number
kind of
1 in the
seeing
UK.
where our talent is coming from.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that is actually kind of one thing that Europe is able to take advantage of that like the North American region, Continental didn't necessarily, because there are so many countries in Europe. They can all like, there's just so much more diversity that is able to get to this stage. Whereas in the North American one, you saw seven people from the USA and 1 Canadian. And the Canadian did actually end up to take that out. But those are all of the countries that were in there, because the Mexico was going to the Latin American Continental. Yep. So only 2 countries, whereas a lot more variety here. Same as APAC as well, and Latin America. Sorry, North America, but just not as diverse, unfortunately.
Maybe we should start dividing the America up by states. We'll see where the powerhouses are coming from.
Yeah. East Coast v West Coast v Central America.
Midwest.
I'll pay to see that. I'm ready. But speaking of ready, they've got the teams in, so we will take a look at game 2 here, see how they do adjust. And we are seeing the Shadow Dragonite going into the lead again, this time picking up an Escavalier, which is still a very nice lead for this Dragonite. Dragon Breath is going to be resisted, Dragon Claw is going to be resisted, but again, Escavalier is so squishy that look how much damage it's taking. That. Insane. But I'm actually going to let this go through. It could be that Acid Spray. So that's the games when you're up against a Pokemon with Acid Spray and calls the Acid Spray.
It is definitely the Acid Spray. Okay, so taking it to the face, and now looks like he's going to try to go to double Dragon Claws. At least we'll probably get 1 shield or have the Escavalier go down. I mean,
letting that go
look
through.
At that. I mean, he doesn't even need to get to the second one. Oh, he does.
Yes,
okay,
he does.
Now it's his choice. Does he want to lose switch advantage, or does he want to come out ahead with shield advantage? Choosing shield advantage, knowing that this Escavalier will be taken out quickly with what's coming in. So he's hoping for a bit of an energy lead on this Stunfisk, which is actually pretty good against the rest of the team. I'm assuming a Munchlax. Yep, that's the only good answer that Leandro has against the Stunfisk.
Yeah, I mean, Stunfisk doesn't love to be in this spot, so I'm kind of expecting maybe throw a few moves, bring in a Azumarill. There has to be a little bit scared of Alolan Grimer hanging out in the back, but maybe there's a hope that the Steelix, maybe they've still brought that Steelix in from the last battle. I know they like Steelix. I hope they have Steelix, but burning the shield here to protect that Stunfisk, potentially in case it was a Bulldoze. Because I think even though Bulldoze is a really bad move, it is a better move to throw than Body Slam.
Yes.
Definitely
against the Stunfisk as well. But let's see if Leandro decides to shield this up. If he does, it's probably a good indication of something in the back. No, doesn't choose to shield. Okay. So he still has 2 shields. Looks like there's a little bit of mutual lag, but they both got energy there. Switching into the Azumarill, and in comes that Pelipper.
Okay. So Pelipper doesn't love getting mashed up against Stunfisk. It can do a bit of damage with its water weather balls, but is going to take a lot of damage from the discharges as well. A lot of damage. But we are now seeing that Azumarill first Pelipper. Ice Beam going to be neutral because of the water and flying typings. But Azumarill in a pretty good spot up against Pelipper, to be honest. Like, it can land the Hurricane, and that will hurt. But it's not going to be a one-hit KO on Azumarill. Actually, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Properly shielding up this. But now I wonder if the ball is back in Leandro's court, because if he just shields these up, he can probably get to double Weather Ball and at least do some damage to that Stunfisk.
Yeah, holding on to that.
So another Hurricane will definitely take out the Azumarill here.
Yeah, which it looks like they're just going to keep farming. Counting perfectly, knew that an Ice Beam could potentially be coming. Leandro throwing just at the right time. This Hurricane going to come through and going to hurt. Ka-chow. Azumarill actually hanging on there.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. The swap and throw. This is Azumarill's energy going to dust, using up this Munchlax, taking out Azumarill. Stunfisk going to come back in with its energy. Has to use... Oh my gosh. We're seeing the charge move come through first. I think Bibiliciouss may know the writing. Potentially could be on the wall here. Leandro still holding onto a shield.
He's got all this energy. He's got to throw it at some point, because these licks are still going to do a bit of damage to the Stunfisk. And also, Leandro still has a shield left, and a Weather Ball will definitely be enough to take out the Stunfisk. So I don't know if the Pelipper is up to that much energy. I highly doubt it. He's trying to Mudshot it down, not able to. This Body Slam will not take it out either, but it's going to be super close.
Yeah, we saw an undercharge. Oh, no, getting taken out there.
Okay.
We saw Bibiliciouss undercharge their last Mud Bomb onto Munchlax, which was almost perfect. It was almost
Yes.
perfect to take them all the way down. Would have had 2 discharges. First one throw, get the shield out of Pelipper. Second discharge,
Yep.
potentially could have taken out Pelipper with how much health it had left. But unfortunately, just leaving too much health on that Munchlax, which...
Yeah, I mean, I think people always underestimate how thick Munchlax is. Especially like if you play one of the cups where you had a Charmer versus it. And I mean, by the time all the body slams went through, like your Charmer was dead. Not that I recommend anyone plays it, but if you do, just know that Munchlax is a pretty good answer to it.
Yeah, don't worry, Charmers. I'm with you. You keep doing what you're doing. I'm not...
Charmers, you do you.
No charm shame coming from me. But we are now 1-1 in this round, I believe. That is correct, isn't it? Yeah.
That is correct. And both matches very close, down to the wire, with some good swaps from each person. I mean, if you're either player, you probably have a bit of nerves. This is the finals, and it is a double elimination. Leandro, I believe, did win his first round. So
Yes.
He's feeling a little probably more confident. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, all right. Let's jump into it.
I mean, spoiler alert, we kind of know how it goes, I guess. But
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
anxious to see how it plays out.
Yeah, we don't know for sure. But Azumarill going in up against the Alolan Grimer here. This
Oh
is
my
not
goodness.
a good lead at all. This is very rough.
I'm
Instant
anxious to
swap out
see
there.
how he's
In
going
it
to
to
win
the
this one.
Stunfisk coming in there. Not a good spot for the Grimer.
Leandro letting it throw onto it before he's going to swap out. So he's getting a ton of energy on this Grimer. And then I assume he's going to take it and swap. Take it and maybe he's going to poison jab it to weaken it a bit. Or maybe he's really screwed and did not bring a Stunfisk counter.
Apologies, interruption. Heck.
Heck indeed. So we are going up. He's charging up to 2 mud bombs or 2 discharges, throwing the discharge. As we saw last time, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but I mean, that's just because Munchlax is quite thick. But like we talked about, so much energy. Stunfisk can also tank a body slam, so it's at least going to whittle down this Munchlax, and then hopefully just give a good amount of energy for the next thing that comes in. A bulldoze. Okay, we did see it happen.
Eventually coming through there, and yeah, definitely does do a lot of damage. But Azumarill up against the Munchlax now. Gonna definitely, it's not going to take too much damage for this Munchlax. At all.
He knows that the Grimer's going to come back in soon too, so he's kind of screwed anyway, not bothering to shield it up very much. And I'm just noticing now that it's a best buddy to Azumarill too, so it's at exactly 1500. So this guy is an XL daddy, I assume.
Oh man, yeah, scary little bunny. Scary little what thing?
I think he's a bunny.
Yeah.
Is he a bunny?
Yeah.
He's got bunny ears. Okay,
Yeah.
But this is great for Bibiliciouss being able to charge up enough that he is throwing this ice beam. So now putting Leandro in a bad spot. He's got to shield this if he wants to do any damage to the Azumarill. And yes, I mean, obviously these bubbles are hurting the Grimer as well. So let's see what counting again, once again, at perfect amount, throwing just as Bibiliciouss reaches the ice beam, going to be able to take out this Azumarill.
I didn't see them tapping on the ice beam though, so I think they may have left this health intentionally to get a little bit of farm.
That might be smart. I mean, he's got a ton of energy on that Stunfisk though, so this is I think he has at least one charge move, maybe a charge move and a half already saved up on that Stunfisk. Gonna tank this body slam. Interesting. No, okay. Had me worried there for a second, Bibiliciouss.
What am I supposed to? Oh yeah, right. The game. But yeah, this.
And it looks like, I don't know if you saw it, he tried to swap onto the Stunfisk to catch this body slam, was unable to.
That is rough.
And in comes this Escavalier. But as we saw before, this is going to do almost half health damage, just because Escavalier is also very squishy in the Great League. Ultra League is more where it shines. Not very effective, look at that, but it still did so much damage. Gonna hit with this Mud Bomb back to back probably. And then...
Yeah, it's energy unload time. It's like,
yes, riding on the wall.
One Mud Bomb for you. Oh, would you like another? Yep, one Mud Bomb again. And then we are going to see that little bit of health on the Munchlax come out in the back. Down goes the
We
Scavalier.
might have a little bit of problems here because I think that Leandro's going to try to lick. Oh, okay. This time he is able to get it. He's not going to undertap. He knows that he needs this Munchlax out of here now because he cannot get another body slam on that Dragonite. Down goes the Munchlax. Bibiliciouss moves on to round 3.
Round 3, going for 2-0, which is really strong there. Apologies for interrupting that battle. Yeah, I just had to give someone their laptop, but it will not happen again. That's a PvP Steve promise. But let's still...
Look at me. I am the captain now.
We've already established this. You are in charge as the Swede on board. Official Swede.
Taxamaker.
I'll trust you.
That's Swedish word. Thank you.
I'm giving you full faith here. You could have just said gibberish to me and I wouldn't know. I would have no idea. But yeah, Bibiliciouss playing that really well. Again, that entire set was close. It was close. These are two of the best players in the world, and they showed it. They are fighting for that Continental Championship.
Exactly.
We'll jump back over into the bracket, update it for the next rounds, and we did see that Helsenberg actually also went down to V Tenacity into the losers bracket, and then again, because the losers bracket is kind of updating ahead of where it's up to, and we then saw Helsenberg beat Matthew Brewer out of there. Unfortunately, Dragalge not holding up for that one, and Dancing Rob being taken out by Leandrew, who just went down to Bibiliciouss. So there is a potential for Leandrew to reappear in the finals again because of the way the double brackets work. But we are going to be going into round 3 up against the only other undefeated battler left, and that is V Tenacity. Another really strong battler, like really dangerous.
One of UK's best. One of what we could call maybe London's finest.
Very well done. Very well done.
I'll be here all night.
But they literally are number 1 in the UK on the Silph leaderboards. They are a powerhouse. They've got that legend rank. This is the second legend in a row that Bibiliciouss has to take on as the technically lowest ranked in the tournament, but they also didn't play for a full season, so things are skewed.
You don't know how high he could have gotten actually if he had played all the rounds.
Yeah, ace with 3 months plus regionals plus the Continentals waiting. But yeah, seriously, it's going to be a little bit scary. So we'll bring the teams up here. Click. And we've got the team here. We've got a very interesting team.
Wow, Spice. Do you remember when we were talking about the Commanders and we couldn't find a good reason to use Polyrath?
Yeah.
And now it's been chosen by the #1 player of the UK as their Kanto pick.
Well, the person, we actually had Matthew Brewer as the man who was trying to make a case for Polyrath. And I don't think he used it. V Tenacity has had to go, okay, Matt, you're a great battler. You've done so incredibly well this season. But as the #1 in UK, I'm bringing Polyrath, and I'm going to show you how to use it.
Let me show you how it's done.
Exactly right. And then, not only that, but bringing in Gligar, Sableye, Galvantula, another 3 Pokemon we haven't seen, and then bringing in that Probopass and Alolan Grimer to kind of shore up that team in the same sort of fashion that we are seeing. This is a crazy little team. I'm not even sure what to expect. I'm really
excited to see. Sableye is one of my favorite Pokemon to use in battles, and so I'm really excited to see it play out. Especially, I'm going to go ahead and guess that it is a purified Sableye that has returned, and with that it can handle the Azumarill a little bit better than if it was just a foul play or a Shadow Sneak or even a Power Gem. None of those are very effective against the Azumarill, but if the Azumarill doesn't block the return, it does do a hefty amount of damage to it, so at least it's a little bit more threatening with that. Gligar also, he's thicker than a Gliscor, so it'll be interesting to see what the movesets that V Tenacity is running on that as well. Is going to be like an Air Slash to protect against spiders, or is it going to be something that really gets to its charging moves very quickly to get that Night Slash boost?
Although, it has Dig as an option for a charge move, and
it also has Dig.
Look, Dig's great and all, but it's not great at all. But I mean, it's the only super effective thing they've got to throw to Probopass. So maybe they've brought it for this tournament where Probopass is clearly a pretty common pick. But there is only one way to find out, unfortunately. That is jumping in to round 3 up against V Tenacity, which I have clipped. There we go. Perfect click.
I'm going to guess we're going to see a Polyrath at least once.
Sure.
Okay, leading the Sableye here. This is fairly neutral. I mean, since the Stunfisk does get to its moves pretty quickly, obviously it has to be wary of taking too many either discharges or mud bombs. But in return, the Stunfisk definitely doesn't want to take too many foul plays, especially because Bibiliciouss has really been using Stunfisk. I would say Stunfisk is probably his MVP so
at this
far
point
in the first 2 rounds.
I mean, it's just able to get charge moves off so frequently. Boom, boom, Mud Bomb for you, Thundershock for you. It's all just shooting out. Discharge, sorry, is the charge move, throwing all over the shop. But this just battle of the spammy little neutralists it's taking its time.
Yes, exactly. And looks like he's like not going to shield this up, which is very interesting. Knows that he'll be able to at least get off another one. He's maybe trying to go for back-to-backs here. But obviously the Shadow Claws are going to start building up as well. And hopefully he'll be able to reach another before going down. But I don't think he will.
Yeah, just short.
So
just short.
Sableye is able to take it, and obviously coming in with the best counter, immediately switching out to this Galvantula. This is also going to be pretty neutral.
Look how much Dragon Breath is doing. Look at it. I was like, oh no, this Galvantula is going to do a lot of damage to Dragonite. And it is, but Dragonite...
Yes, but I mean, yeah, Dragonite hasn't even thrown anything yet. Going to go ahead and fully farm down. Ouch. This is going to be hard for V-Tenacity. Double Dragon Claws ready. And it was a discharge, not a lunge. So it is still a full Shadow with a full attack. In comes that Poliwrath.
Yes.
He's gonna fake it. He's gonna fake it. Will V-Tenacity call the bait here?
Whoa.
He does not.
Oh man, that's really rough. Calling for thinking that it might be a Hurricane. That is definitely a little bit rough.
Definitely won't be. So I'm wondering if he will shield this up.
Oh, he's burning the shield on the Dragon Claw.
Yeah. I guess he feels like he has to because there's not that much health left on the Sableye, and then the Dragonite could fully Dragon Breath down the Sableye and still be able to throw again.
Yeah,
so,
I think
neither one of these Pokemon are good against an Azumarill, especially an Azumarill with a shield, unless for some reason Poliwrath has some very weird second move besides a Dynamic Punch, but that's usually not the case. It does, as a fighter, it does have a fighting move. As you can see, not very effective here. This is kind of a bummer.
Oh, and I even tried for the catch.
Tried to catch a Hydro Pump. If you look, I'm pretty sure Bibiliciouss did click it.
Oh my
gosh. It just didn't register, which turned out pretty lucky.
Niantic and Bibilicious is
now reading it.
Niantic pulling all the stops, but yeah, I don't think this Poliwrath is going to be able to do anything to take this Azumarill out, unless Niantic is messed up and accidentally given Poliwrath Gunk Shot. I just don't think it's going to be able to do enough. Hydro Trump is going to go through. Azumarill doesn't really have any great moves to throw back either because it doesn't have that play rough, but look how much Hydro Trump does.
Yeah, exactly.
That's huge.
Just Bibilicious being a little bit demoralizing here, not even bothering to use that shield. He was like, oh, just another Dynamic Punch? I can take at least 4 more of those.
I'm sure V-Tenacity may have been able to throw a charge move if they really wanted to, but they knew there was no reason.
Let that go.
I
will say it might. I mean, it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. I still think it would have been a loss because the Bibilicious did have that shield left. But if you would have been able to catch, that might have also been a little bit helpful.
Yeah.
At least make the game a little bit closer.
Yeah, it definitely would have made things closer, which is the big. I'm doing everything I can to try and turn this into a win. And
yes, exactly.
They swapped at the exact right time. Bibilicious may have tapped on that charge move and it could have very well caught, but was just in a really rough spot no matter what. So V-Tenacity, despite giving what the people want by bringing that Poliwrath in, it didn't do too much in that battle. It took out Dragonite, which is cool. It got that Ice Punch off, but it took a lot of damage and had to burn both shields in the process. So I feel like Poliwrath...
So I'm really interested. Maybe we will see that Probopass because it is the only good answer. I mean, we literally saw that Dragonite completely Dragon Breath farm down the Galvantula. I mean, the only answer that V-Tenacity has to that Dragonite is a Probopass.
Yeah. I think you're right. And, I mean, there is Poliwrath has Ice Punch. Galvantula can do something, but they just take too much damage on the way. Probopass can stand strong and tall, go, Dragon Breath me all you want.
I dare you.
But
it is true. I mean, I will say this, that Dragonite, even though Ice Punch is very super effective against Dragonite, Dragonite has to shield pretty much anything that a Pokemon throws at it. It can't handle charge moves very well either. So it's like it really hits hard, but it gets hit. So I mean, at the same point, even though it's a super effective Ice Punch, it still has to block a Crunch. It still has to block a Foul Play. It has to block maybe not a Night Slash, but You know what I mean? It's like the
Yeah.
health will go down very quickly in the Dragonite. It's just there to be a complete powerhouse.
Yeah, and the fact that it in the lead scenario it can like really get to its charge moves first a lot of the time really just helps to put that big pressure onto the opponent, make them make some decision that may not necessarily go in that favor. But with that said, I do think you're right. I think Probopass is going to rear its head.
Rear its mustached head.
It's like, you can't do that. I shouldn't have done that. That was wrong. Moving on, hitting play. We've got Stunfisk in the lead up against that Sableye. Here we go again.
Okay.
Neutral v neutral.
Second verse,
different.
same as the first.
And bringing in the same lineup on Bibiliciouss' side as well. So we'll see if Tenacity... surely Tenacity brought the Probopass. I feel like it's a must.
Yeah, but obviously the Probopass does not want to see the Stunfisk either. So this is probably actually the best matchup that Tenacity can hope for against this Stunfisk.
Yeah, let's the first fair play go through,
like
which
said,
does do a lot.
Sableye is a very good neutralist, and this Mud Bomb is not going to do as much damage as the foul plays are doing. And obviously, Bibiliciouss has a lot of energy stored up. He's going to, again, try to go for double Mud Bombs.
At this point, you have to... Ooh, not burning the shield. This is really going to hurt, and they could have... still hanging... Okay, going for the discharge. All right, I was worried. I was like, is all the energy going to go? What? But they could have thrown. But no.
but no, Bibiliciouss.
But all good. Gets the discharge off. Going to get Shadow Claw down again, just short of the Mud Bomb, just like the last battle, going the exact same way. Are we going to see the exact same swap in here to farm down the Sableye? We're seeing a Azumarill come in, going to bubble down, going to get hit by a charge move.
This time, he's going to go ahead and go for the charge move. He's not going to swap out. He probably knows that Bibiliciouss' theory here is if it's not broke, don't fix it. Tenacity has to assume that the Dragonite is in the back. So let's see what comes in to play against the Azumarill. Maybe he played an exactly hard counter team. Looks like it.
Yeah, we're seeing the Alolan Grimer come in. So I was kind of wondering, okay, maybe they've still got that Galvantula, but Alolan Grimer going to do a big chunk of damage onto this Azumarill, can soak up that Ice Beam. Seeing the swap into Dragonite, and it is actually still the Poliwrath in the back, which... Again, has the Ice Punch. It can threaten this Dragonite, but Dragonite threatens right back with all these Dragon Breaths. Still has all 4 shields on the field. Both people, first shield coming out of Bibiliciouss' side here.
Down. Here we go.
But
to be fair, the Azumarill has no play against the Grimer. It is now energy dry. So I feel like Bibilicious' only hope here is that he's going to just completely Dragon Breath down this Poliwrath, which it looks like it can possibly do. Yeah. Better hurry.
Just there. Ooh, what? Did they keep something on
one? He was trying. He had a little bit left on the Sableye, maybe. I don't know what that was.
I kind of thought I remembered Sableye going down.
Trying to sack, but...
Yeah, not going to plan. This Dragon Claw going through almost another one.
These Dragon Claws now.
Yeah, it's that charge move animation actually happening. All these meteors coming through onto this Grimer. Already at another... actually, one Dragon Breath short of the next Dragon Claw.
Okay.
Is he going to remember to take it?
Be enough to take out the Dragonite. Let's hope for Tenacity's sake it can. It does.
Okay.
They're both energy dry, but these poison jabs obviously doing a ton of damage to the Azumarill. Will the Azumarill be able to reach Ice Beam before this goes through? No, this will definitely be enough to take out the Azumarill. Tenacity coming back with some tenacity, taking game 2. So he basically played just the best hard counter team. Risking it not using that Probopass, but I suppose in his mind too, Probopass is hard countered by a decent amount of Bibilicious' team, and maybe he just didn't want to put it into a completely rock, paper, scissors scenario.
Yeah, Probopass, if you think about it, like Bibilicious has that Stunfisk. If Stunfisk is up against Probopass, that's just, GG's, Probopass is gone.
Since it's the Mudshot Stunfisk, exactly.
Whereas if you run something like Poliwrath, it doesn't love the matchup, but it does still have some play. You're going to be able to throw those Ice Punches back, so it can... Maybe they are just trying to avoid that RPS while still bringing that sort of RPS Pokemon onto their team of 6. Maybe it's just all a threat. In saying that, we may see it rear its head again in this battle, potentially. I
do like the thought of using Sableye as like a pretty strong general lead. It doesn't lose hard to anything on the field. It can at least do a lot of damage, even though it might end up losing the lead. But let's see how they play out this game deciding game 3. This one, I mean, like they're both undefeated at this point. So this is pretty much determining who is the winner of the winner's bracket before it goes on. So tensions are high. We have a very bad lead for Bibiliciouss, but we've seen it in game 2. We saw it in the game deciding match. So in comes that Dragonite. Now we see what can be used against it. The fact that a Probopass does not come in is a pretty good indicator that Probopass is not in this game.
I think that's a very fair call to make. Shielding up that crunch, these Dragon Breaths still going to do a lot of damage. Actually, seeing the swap out into Poliwrath coming out. Here he is. And we're up to the Hurricane, but going to go for those Dragon Claws still. Try and get those shields out of Poliwrath. Again, Dragon Claw still going to do tons of damage. Hurricane is a little bit of overkill up against this Poliwrath. It does get that shield.
Yeah, that's true, especially in the Great League. We're talking about ones that perform better in Ultra League. Poliwrath is added to that list again. Why he didn't make the list of the great commanders as well. But these Ice Punches, they do come in rather quick. And so a Dragon Claw might not be able to take it out. Maybe at this range, now that he's let the Dragon Breaths do a little more damage as well.
I'm not sure if it's going to be
Tenacity also knows that Poliwrath isn't going to do that great against an Azumarill. He's able to get to this Ice Punch. No shields left. Down goes this Dragonite. But now I think it's still anyone's game. That's fully healthy Stunfisk is in the back. Going to go ahead and get some extra energy advantage, and let's see what comes in.
Showing the last Pokemon, so it is still that Sableye and Grimer, this time just moving Sableye out of that lead position, but we still ended up with a basically full health Stunfisk up against a full health Sableye, but not quite, because this Stunfisk does have a little bit of advantage, so it may actually be able to take this matchup out on even shields. Actually, V-Tenacity does still have 1 shield, and Bibiliciouss has 0. So maybe that actually is not the case.
But V-Tenacity also has a Sableye against a potentially fully healthy Azumarill left as well. So it's not going to be that great for him. He knows that even if he ends up shielding it up, it could cause a lot of damage, and then Bibiliciouss can probably farm it down and throw an Ice Beam at the Grimer, which does not have a lot of health left either. It's really difficult to decide in the moment how either of these people will play it out. Obviously, it looks like V-Tenacity might let this Sableye go down. No.
Ooh.
See, this is okay.
Okay, so the swap out, keeping them all healthy, keeping energy around. Azumarill coming in, gets this Ice Beam before Grimer can get to a charge move. If this is enough to take it out, it's gonna get. It may just not.
I don't think it'll be enough to take it out, but again, Crunch is not going to be enough to even go near taking out. There's just too much energy and health HP left on Bibilicious' team. Sludge Bomb. Okay.
Still not enough to take it out,
still
though.
Closer, but
Sableye's too low. It's just it does have the charge move.
Oh, jeez.
Azumarill going to go down, but I think Stunfisk can do it.
This is so close.
I think it's got enough. Does it?
Stunfisk needs like 2 or 3 more, and it'll be able to.
1, 2. Get to the Mud Bomb. Get to the Mud Bomb. Sableye's going down.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. Sableye only needed 1 more Dragon Claw, and that Stunfisk would have gone down just the fast move damage alone.
Wow.
Talk about a really close final matchup. I think that was the closest that we've seen so far, right? Against the 2 undefeated players.
Yeah, essentially the sort of semi-finals in a way of the winner's bracket. No, it's the finals of the winner's bracket.
It's definitely the finals of the winner's bracket.
Bibilicious has won the winner's bracket, sending V-Tenacity down to the losers. So we'll head over to the brackets, take a look here, and we actually see that Leandrew did end up beating Helsenberg. And then once V-Tenacity was sent down there, we see that V-Tenacity actually beat Leandrew. So no matter who won this matchup, we were going to see a rematch in the finals.
Yep.
But V-Tenacity decided, they were way too close. It's my time to shine. I can take it back this time around. 1 extra Shadow Claw, it would have been mine. So Let's go again into the grand... Well, it is the finals.
This is exciting.
And again, whoever wins this, these are the last 2... One person is walking away as the European Continental Champion. There are some huge stakes here. And obviously gets the invitation to the World Championships coming up as well. So if you keep it in mind,
when you're playing, you don't expect that you're going to be playing the same player over again. So you're maybe revealing a different style or like things that you know that you need to do to win. And now that your opponent has that advantage against you because they're like, okay, I know that he favors, X, Y, and Z Pokemon. On the flip side, I mean, Bibilicious knows this about V-Tenacity too. He's like, 3 games, he didn't bring this once against me. Chances are he might not. So.
Yeah,
I mean, I think both of them realize that Bibiliciouss is definitely favoring the Dragonite against the V-Tenacity's team, and that Bibiliciouss knows that V-Tenacity is most likely going to bring that Sableye. So we'll see how they shake it up for this final round of the European Continental Championships.
Dun dun dun. Or it may not be final because of that double elimination category. If V-Tenacity were to win, they would have to go for another final.
Play another round.
Finals
yes, all right,
2.
Let's see it.
If anyone,
let's see it go down.
Let's go. All right. Hidden the play button.
But let's put it this way: they are literally the only people left in the tournament. Everyone else has been defeated twice.
Yeah, these are essentially the top 2 in Europe in a way. Fighting it out for domination, making Europe theirs for the entirety of Season 4. And we're seeing the Shadow Dragonite come in the lead into Gligar. V-Tenacity completely switching it up. Okay.
And a Purified Gligar. So now we know, too, that it is most likely running Return as well. So he's got 2 Purified Pokemon.
Oh, my gosh. They've gone for a full switch up. Full switch up. This isn't good. This isn't good.
You have to wonder what the plan is here, too, because it is clearly a Spark Probopass, which is doing nada to this Stunfisk. Obviously, this Rock Slide's also not going to be doing very much. If you are Bibiliciouss, you are just grinning here because you're like, I am just going to go to absolute farm town. Population me.
So I'm assuming they knew that Bibiliciouss brought Stunfisk all 3 games. By swapping into Probopass, they know that they're probably dragging it out. So what have they got something that they can bring into hard counter? There's not really a hard counter on their teams. They may just have that Sableye to bring in potentially. Or Gligar with Dig.
Yeah, especially because this, I mean, it's really doing nothing to this. I mean, if I was Bibiliciouss, I would undercharge here. Or is he just going to go for the, I mean, he's at 100 energy. He's just going to go for the complete farm down even still.
It's the switch clock being up is the only thing. Well, the switch clock is up now, but I can't imagine that. Yeah, gonna let the Probopass go all the way down, packing 100 energy going into this Gligar matchup, swapping back into Dragonite, and you're actually seeing Sableye come back out neutral v neutral, but Dragonite's going to take a lot more damage than Stunfisk would have in this spot. So
yeah, I actually think
it was Grimer.
The Sableye at all. He brought in the Grimer. Look at that. The Dragon Claw doing about 50% damage. I mean, able to reach the second Dragon Claw before Tenacity is able to reach that crunch. So let's see if he chooses the shield. He doesn't. He just lets it go completely down. This is another time where we're like, you guys remember you have shields, right?
Yeah. At this point, it's like a Shadow Dragonite with 2 shields can do so much damage, but it doesn't have too much health left. Letting the Night Sash come through. Okay. Gonna leave it go. I have a full Azu in the... I've got an Azu back here. I'm going to bubble you all the way down. There is...
I actually wonder if he should have just came back in with that Stunfisk, and because he's got a ton of energy on it, and just not reveal your third Pokemon. Because a lot of times that is a good play in general to be like, okay, listen, you don't know what my third is, you know, and that is also a little bit demoralizing as an opponent, being like, oh man, I got beat. That's so bad that although to be fair, did get beat pretty bad and didn't use any of the shields. So
there's always the case of like, you know, maybe V-Tenacity does end up burning all that. Like if you bring Stunfisk in, you're not really going to be able to fast move them down. So like you're going to have to throw the charge move. So they would be burning their shields. And I guess there's the chance that Gligar gets up to 100 energy, has this hidden gunk shot that is on every Pokemon now. They can potentially sneak it through. But just really well played. And it was pretty dominating fashion. So V-Tenacity deviating hard from their round 3 strategy to try and surprise.
He pretty much brought in 3 that he doesn't really play with too much. I mean, I guess maybe that was the whole point, you know, just to try to really throw Bibiliciouss off his game. However, Bibiliciouss stuck with his core of the Dragonite, Stunfisk, and Azumarill, and hard counter or like swapping in a Probopass when your opponent can swap was maybe a little bit risky.
Yeah, it's definitely like, especially when you know that they've kept using it over and over again, it's very risky. Like, I guess the other Pokemon they had was Alolan Grimer. So they actually had an ABB where their BB was both weak to Stunfisk, and they didn't see Stunfisk in the lead. So they got themselves in. They only had one Pokemon that could beat Stunfisk.
But if you do it like that, maybe you choose the Grimer. Although, I mean, if you're Bibiliciouss and someone switches in that Grimer, you probably just, again, farm it down. But yeah, it's interesting. Let's see how they decide to play out this game number 2.
I'm kind of wondering if they're gonna jump straight back into into their old line. We're seeing the Poliwrath in the lead, which is very different. We're also seeing people just bring the Azumarill lead in, which is also very different. But interested to see. I feel like someone's going to swap it at some point. I can't see this matchup going all the way to the end. I think V-Tenacity may want to keep some energy on this Poliwrath to throw some Ice Punches at a Dragonite later, potentially. Just have to wait and see how it does play out. And again, Azumarill doesn't really care about any of Poliwrath's charge moves, like any. At all.
Right. And like we talked about before, I mean, Hydro Pump isn't the greatest move against a Poliwrath, but we did see it do some pretty hefty damage before it. Now that Poliwrath is down to 50%, it still has a ton of energy. I'm sure it's past its charge moves already, but we'll see. Maybe his goal is just to chunk down this Azumarill as much as possible. Maybe letting the Poliwrath go. I'd have no idea. Like,
he's getting fairly low.
What the plan is here.
Oh, relatively low. Azumarill almost getting to that Hydro Pump. I guess there's two options here. You could go for the Hydro Pump just straight away, try and take Poliwrath out. You could go for the baits. Dynamic Punches are coming through. Azumarill is actually getting... I think I gave Azumarill a little bit too much credit in this matchup. It could definitely go the other way. Because like if they shield this Hydro Pump, Azumarill's lost its energy and Poliwrath
if they shield this Hydro Pump, which he does, now Bibiliciouss has to decide if he's going to shield this Dynamic Punch to try to keep switch advantage. Although... as we saw before, sometimes Bibiliciouss prefers to keep an energy advantage and let their Pokemon goes down. Looks like he's going to do it this time. I assume in comes this Dragonite, just again to get to be able to farm it down with a Dragon Breath and then have a Dragon Claw to throw at the remaining Pokemon.
No, we're seeing Stunfisk coming.
Switching it up, because he knew that there was still so much energy on that Poliwrath that an Ice Punch was coming in for sure.
Still burning the shield.
Yeah.
Okay.
This Ice Punch does some pretty decent damage against both. It is super effective. Going for the Mud Bomb. We'll see if V-Tenacity wants to shield up both shields already on the first Pokemon. Nope, down goes that Poliwrath. What will come in?
Here we are again. Here we are again. How does this keep happening? No matter where they put these Pokemon, they're just like magnetically attracted to each other.
Play each other. I am interested. He did bring the Probopass last time. If he brings the Probopass this time, he will most likely have this game.
That's
because
very true.
It is that Dragonite in the back.
Yeah, this Sableye, again, is in that spot where it is like a little bit behind this Stunfisk, but if they've got Probopass in the back, I'd imagine they're going to use their last shield on this Sableye to win this matchup out. And then, yeah, it could be incredibly good for them because Dragonite's going to be able to do nothing to Probopass if they are able to land it. Just have to wait and see though, because there's no way we're going to see it before the Sableye goes. Not burning the shield though, that makes me think that it is not a Probopass in the back. Swap into oh my gosh, it is.
Nope, it is. It is.
Whoa. That is a really dangerous... I guess he's swapping the Dragonite to bring it out, because otherwise Stunfisk just would have kept losing health. Maybe in this reality, because I can't imagine Dragonite's going to take Probopass out. I think V-Tenacity's got this.
No, I think maybe it's now V-Tenacity is grinning and he's saying, okay, now it's my turn to charge up a lot of extra. Because even if the Stunfisk manages to throw something to take out the Probopass, I think that the Sableye is at a move. So right now, I think his goal is just to take as much away from that Stunfisk as possible. Still as a shield. I think game number 2 is going to be Tenacity here. This Rock Slide definitely going to be enough to take this out. And then let's see what his second move is, maybe. Or do you think he's just going to continue to throw Rock Slides at him?
Could definitely go either way. And this could just be a scare tactic, just going for the Rock Slides. All right? Could just go Rock Slide all the way. Or maybe they've got Thunderbolt in the back. Always possible as well. But Stunfisk could get so much energy from this, but you have to be so scared. There's still a shield. They essentially need to get 3 Mud Bombs ready. They need to throw one at Probopass.
And you actually can't get that much energy.
Yeah.
I think you can only get 2.5. So
this is the strategy there.
Because he is at 100 energy. He knows it's going to go probably down, hoping it doesn't.
But
yes, of course it will. And in comes this Sableye winning CMP. Oh my goodness.
I don't think I realized how little health that Sableye had left.
I also didn't realize either.
It's dead. It's gone. It's not real.
I think when that Dragonite came in, the Dragon Breath damage, he probably managed to get one off on it before it switched out.
Yeah.
Very lucky he was able to switch out.
Wow, because I obviously, when I said the 3 Mud Bombs, he was going for that strategy. He threw the first one. It was just trying to not do a full Mud Bomb, but Steel Electric typing. It doesn't like ground very much. It didn't do much at all.
So that one really went well for Tenacity, able to finally line up that Probopass against the Dragonite, which was always the goal. It will be interesting to see how they will play out this game 3. Now Tenacity has pretty much used every single one of his lineup against Bibiliciouss. At one point or another in their 5 games that they've played so far. Bibiliciouss has stuck with the tried and true, gonna win him the matches, Dragonite, Azumarill, Stunfisk. Do you think he'll mix it up for the very last round?
It's a 5-game streak where they've won 1, 2, 3. They've won 3 out of 5 with the 3. Yep. I feel like Tenacity's moving all over the shop. You know, they're using all sorts of Pokemon. I feel like Bibiliciouss is just going to play it calm, run with the same 3. Because if Bibiliciouss wins this one battle, they become the Continental Champion. If Tenacity wins, they start another set of 3. So there's a lot of stakes on Bibiliciouss to win.
You always find though, like that game 3 is the one where people start. Usually, I mean, Tenacity did it a little bit in the first round of this one.
Well,
but
that's kind of game 4.
Where people try to pull out their extra, cards, the rabbit out of the hat. So let's see if Bibiliciouss chooses to tried and true or show us that rabbit.
All right, here we go. Well, I mean,
and by that rabbit, I mean Azumarill.
That's what we're all hoping for here. But it wouldn't be the potential last battle of Continentals without this battle coming out yet again. They've gone. I feel like they've found each other all 6 games. I think it's the one.
They're meant to be. Oh, look at this. Playing it a little different this time. Catching the foul play on the Azumarill. Let's see what they switch out into themselves.
Oh my gosh, it's a Alolan Grimer.
Here comes that Grimer.
This is not good, but you're exactly right with pulling the rabbit out of the hat. But yeah, this is not great for Bibiliciouss here. It's kind of gone to a hard counter city. This Ice Beam, again, still does a bit, as we've kind of seen before, but it's not great. It's not great.
Yeah, I mean, it does a decent chunk. And obviously, like we said, the crunch doesn't do a lot. But at this range, the crunch will still be able to take it out. I guess maybe he's hoping for before, like when he had the Dragonite and he can come in and like really push it to the limit. Going for the Sludge Bomb. Okay.
Fair enough.
All right, Tenacity.
Making sure. Get Azumarill out of there. Hey, this wasn't part of the agreement. Azumarill wasn't supposed to be here. Get out of here. Stunfisk coming in with the Mud Bomb. Grimer's presumably just going to go down. No reason to keep it around.
Which is also a little bit different.
Oh yeah, instead of bringing in the Dragonite.
Yeah.
We
I mean, again, if you're Bibiliciouss, aren't you a little bit scared of that Probopass potentially in the back?
Yeah, that's what went wrong in the last battle. And Bibiliciouss is sitting there going, please don't have Probopass. If you have Probopass, this could go so incredibly badly. He's in the 2-0 or 2-1 shield disadvantage at this point. Obviously still has a ton of energy.
Mud Bomb bait. Let's see if it's the bait pays off. Nope.
No
shield. Never shielding up that Sableye. Knows it's kind of thick. Able to get to this crunch again, or this foul play. I mean, let's see. Tenacity throwing the foul play, shielded up by Bibiliciouss. 2 shields to 0 shields. Maybe we are going to go into the double elimination 3rd round final here.
Very possible. And see, you could potentially call that out as not burning shields as then they don't have Probopass in the back. But they actually don't. Okay. They don't. They've got Poliwrath.
But he just needs 1 Ice Punch to knock this out. It's got 2 shields left. He's definitely going to shield this, I assume.
Yeah.
He's going to reach his Ice Punch soon. And it's enough to take out a Shadow Dragonite especially.
Absolutely.
Right?
It must be. It must be.
I'm asking, but I'm pretty
super
sure. Super duper,
super effective, super squishy Pokemon, Shadow bonus. There it goes. Yeah.
One shot. Okay.
Ooh, okay. So Poliwrath still has a shield.
Even doubling up here. Like, he played that so cool, blocking the Dragon Claw. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Okay.
Oh, they've gone for the bait. They're not quite a 2 discharges, so they've gone for a Mud Bomb. If they shield this, he's going to be able to get the discharge off and potentially take out that Poliwrath. Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay.
He's got it. He's got it.
Okay,
he's got it.
Okay.
This Poliwrath is going down.
The Sableye still has a little bit of health. The same thing that happened last time, but he doesn't have. He's not at a move yet, so it's just a fast move farm down. Oh!
Mutual lag. Oh my gosh!
Oh, what a hard way to lose.
Oh my
mutual lag at the end, which is the agreement that it plays out. But I mean, I don't think that he would be able to reach another foul play anyway, but
I'm
still,
sure he wasn't.
that's a disheartening way to lose.
Look, you would be sweating so much going to the last one. It's like, I'm tapping this so fast, as fast as I can to tap this out.
I gotta be there.
And then it's just freezing, going, please, please, please. It's just extending out torture.
Yes.
Have I won this? Have I won this? And for Bibiliciouss, it went in his favor. Taking out, had to play Beast and Hassany twice, 6 battles.
In a row, yeah.
In the end, able to take it out.
Congratulations, Bibiliciouss. You did it. Representing us Swedes well.
such a huge accomplishment. Like, and yeah, bringing it home to Sweden. So Sweden's going to get the crown. Yes. You know, Memphis got to take it home last time.
I mean, being in the European region and seeing a lot of the leaderboards, we don't see a lot of the Swedish players as much as, you know, we see the people. We know the people from Germany. We know Italy is also very strong contenders. Belgium's got a few good players, and look, I mean, really putting Sweden on the map here.
Yeah, something to look out for. I mean, Sweden is going to the World Championships. Going to take on Canada from the North Americas. Are going to take. Oh, I'm completely blank. I'm sorry, Bar the Gamer. I'm blanking. I'm sorry. And with Ventusky is actually going in from the Latin America region as well. Yep. Second 2 in a row. The only 2-time Continental champion. There were many going for the shot. You know, Memphis was in this European tournament, but wasn't able to get there. Bibiliciouss joining the ranks. And
I mean, I think Ventusky is ranked number 2 player in the world, but I mean, like Bibiliciouss showed in this tournament, he played some of the top 10 players in the world, and the
V-Tenacity's
didn't even blink an eye.
I believe V-Tenacity is number 4.
He's welcoming this magical event between the rest of the. It will be very interesting to see as well. Do you know when can we expect more information? When can we expect to see anything from Silph about the Worlds?
So I imagine we're going to see some world information early on in this coming week now. Potentially by the time you're watching this, it actually may have come out now that all of the Continentals have finished up. Because they wanted to wait till all the Continental champions were caught, you know, created, so that they wouldn't be giving anyone an unfair advantage. There are still going to be the World Challenges. So there actually still is a chance for some of the Europeans. Leandrew and Dancing Rob from this tournament both actually still have a chance of getting into World Championships through the sort of World Championship preliminary round, where the top 4 players from the European region are going to fight it out for one extra. Well, no, they could actually all go because they've spread it out. So like number 1 from APAC, number 2 from North America, number 3 from Europe, number 4 from 4th region, Latin America. So there is actually a chance for both Leandrew and Dancing Rob to also join Bibiliciouss, representing Europe, and just like have a very significant slice.
I mean, Worlds as we know it is always a super fun competition. You get to see some of the best names in the world, and also people making names for themselves as well.
Yeah, I mean, Speediest Chief just rocketed up to the hugest name. Yeah, exactly. He's still world champion for now. Still reigning world champion.
He's world champion in our hearts.
Always will be. Reigning champ for another little while, but Bibiliciouss. And a clean 4-0 from Bibiliciouss. Like, clean. Did not drop a single match. There's someone to be scared of. So
I agree.
With that said, one last huge congratulations to Bibiliciouss. Thank you so much, Lundberger, for coming on, taking us through the Europeans, even though you are presently displaced from Europe.
Yeah, that's right. Right now, I'm still in the Midwest of the United States, but I'm coming back home soon, guys. So I'm ready for that. I'm ready to be even more of a time zone difference from you, Steve.
You don't get away. Actually, I think Europe is technically you're coming towards me time zone wise.
Yes, but it's more difficult for us always to line things up. So I'm glad that we were able to do this. Thank you so much for the invite. I always like to do some collaborations with you. One of the top people that we think of when we think of Silph content and just PvP content in general. You've been a staple in the community, and we really appreciate you.
I reject all of this positivity. Only go to my PvP Academia. Link in the description. Do go subscribe.
Okay, we'll take that. Come on over, guys.
They will be the soon to be #1 Silph channel. Give it a few more months. They'll get there. They'll take it over. So do definitely go subscribe to them because they're also putting out some nice GBL stuff to keep you over in the meantime. So yeah, thanks for coming on. Congrats to Bibiliciouss, and stay tuned for the Latin America Continentals. That coverage is still there, and in 20 seconds, I'll put on screen the links to the APAC and the North American ones as well, so you can go watch those as well. But yeah, but bye, I guess.
Okay.
See ya.